Hello, and welcome back to a new broadcast. My name is Melvin Malhove, and I'm so glad to be back with you. If you're new to this channel, we discuss Bible based subjects, so please consider subscribing. I'll really appreciate that. Thank you. Hey, everybody. Today we will be talking about generational blessings taken from the life of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Let's go to the book of Genesis, chapter 26, verse 2 and 5. We read about the blessing. In this chapter, we read about the first time God speaks to Isaac. God makes an agreement with him to bless him. The Lord appeared to Isaac and said, "Do not go down to Egypt. Live in the land where I'll tell you to live. Stay in this land for a while, and I will be with you and will bless you. For to you and your descendants I will give all these lands and will confirm the oath I swore to your father Abraham. I will make your descendants as numerous as the star in the sky, and I will give them all these lands, and through your offsprings all nations of the earth will be blessed, because Abraham obeyed me and did everything I required of him, keeping my commands, my decrees, and my instructions." Oh, what a wonderful blessing we read here. The Bible says, "I will bless you and I will make your offsprings numerous as the stars in the sky." And a very important one is also your offsprings. Through your offsprings, all nations of the earth will be blessed. And let's continue to take a look in this story, and we'll see how these promises of God, the blessings of God in Isaac's life, takes place and come to happen. So in verse 6, Isaac stayed in Gerar, where the Lord told him to stay a while. When the men of that place asked him about his wife, he said, "She's my sister," because he was afraid to say, "She's my wife." He thought, "The men of this place might kill me on account of Rebecca because she's beautiful." Now, wouldn't you have done the same? I would have done the same. When Isaac had been there a long time, Abimelech, king of the Philistines, looked down from a window and saw Isaac caressing his wife Rebecca. Interesting. So Abimelech summoned Isaac and said, "She is really your wife. Why did you say she's my sister?" Isaac answered, "Because I thought I might lose my life on account of her." So Isaac didn't want to die. And he knew he had the possibility of dying, having or possessing such a beautiful wife. Then Abimelech said, "What is this you have done to us?" Isaac, "One of these men might well have slept with your wife, and you would have brought guilt upon us." So Abimelech gave orders to all the people, "Anyone who harms this man or his wife shall surely be put to death." And right here we see the blessing that God placed upon Isaac's life unfolds. That's the beginning of where physically it was clear that the blessing of God on Isaac's life started. He said, "Don't harm him, because anybody that harms him and his wife will be put to death." That has to be such a tremendous blessing, that when God blesses you, no man can curse you. They can't even kill you. And they can't even take away from your life what God has given to you. Let's continue to read in verse 12. Isaac planted crops in that land, Gerar, the land where he was amongst the Philistines, and the same year reaped 100-fold, because the Lord blessed him. The man became rich, and his wealth continued to grow until he became very wealthy. He had so many flocks and herds and servants that the Philistine envied him. Wasn't the blessing of the Lord didn't include that he said, even his offspring, because of his offspring, other nations will be blessed as well. And here we see amongst the Philistines, God blessed this man. So all the wells that his father's servant had dug in the time of his father Abraham, the Philistines stopped up, filling them with earth. They thought they could stop the blessing. They thought they could stop the flow of this man's flock growing and all his herds growing. That caused him to be a wealthy man. But when they saw that whatever they did not stop this man from being wealthy, from being blessed, then Abimelech said to Isaac, "Move away from us. You have become too powerful for us." Yes, money talks. When you have a lot of wealth, you become powerful. And that is what Abimelech, the king of the Philistine, was afraid of. Now what do we learn from this story? We can just go back to Proverbs chapter 10 verse 22, taken from the New International Version, that says, "The blessings of the Lord brings wealth. Yes, they make rich, without painful toil for it." Now when you look at the word toil, it means work extremely hard or incessantly, or exhausting physical labor with struggle. Now many of us who are watching right now, we do have jobs, and some other agree that some work harder than others, and some struggle more. But in this case, the story is about just having your regular job, your normal earnings, and that beside that, once the blessing of God is upon you, the real blessing of God, you don't have to work physically or struggle through life. You don't have to do hard labor for you to become rich, because it's the blessings of the Lord that brings wealth. So remember this, whenever you go to your daily jobs, that if it's not of the blessings of God, you will not be rich. In this story, we also see a pattern of generational blessing. It all started in Genesis 22 with Abraham. God gave Abraham the same blessing. Abraham was Isaac's father. In Genesis 26, this blessing was given from Abraham. It was passed down to Isaac. In Genesis 27, Isaac passed this blessing down to his son Jacob. This is it for today's broadcast. Until the next, stay blessed.